Alright, it's filling up the chambers for me. You see that concrete striped wall? That's the wall that broke in Demopolis, and that's what's stopping people from going down to the Gulf right now.
This lock and dam is now closed for emergency repairs. Last Wednesday, the Army Corps of Engineers announced the dam's closure to traffic. The Warrior Tom Bigby Waterway Association says one of the miter gates, which is a large piece of concrete, broke away from the structure, creating a gaping hole
A
in the
lot of
dam.
people are watching loopers currently make their way down to Florida. And I gotta tell you, their videos are months and months lag behind. I actually follow Andromeda. And so if I watch them, I would think that that you can get from Tennessee through the Tom Bigsby down to the Gulf. Currently, you cannot. As of January 18th, the concrete wall on the barrier in Demopolis caved in. So no one can go down. And regardless of, whether I wanted to travel through January and February and March, I didn't have a choice. So Demopolis is only 3 dams, 17 or 28 miles from where I was. And they are planning, I mean, everything has said sometime in May they would be completed, but the way they're at right now, I've never seen where they get completed when they say they are. The other thing is, I don't want to go to Florida in summer. I mean, the whole point of what I'm doing now is I stay in Tennessee in summer and then I go to Florida in winter. And so I don't want to do that. Uh, Now that leaves me to figure out a place to put the sailboat for 6 months, hence what we're doing right now, right? The other thing is I want to work on the sailboat and get everything so it's top notch. And I think the best way to do that, and the most interesting to me, is that I'm going to live on the river in the houseboat full time. I'm not even going to have a dock for the houseboat. We're just going to anchor out. There will be no dock to take the houseboat to. The sailboat will take over the houseboat dock, and I will only pay $100 a month to keep all of my boats on the river. And then my property won't have any boats stored there either. So essentially, I'm just going to live on the river for 6 months with the houseboat. And when I have free time or when the weather's good, I'll go to the marina and work on the sailboat with the dinghy. And if I need stuff or supplies, I'll just take the dinghy. So that's going to be the plan for the next few months. And we'll kind of go from there. All right, so he's opening the door. Notice there's a fishing boat like on the door, basically pushing it, like he's pushing a fishing boat out of the way. He came on the radio and he said he's going to have a draw if that boat doesn't move, but he didn't tell him to move. He just said, hey, I'm drawing in water. It's funny. I'm going to wait for the green light to go in. All right, we just got the double horn sound that says we can come in. He did it really quiet. That's just cool. All the all the tie downs on this are on this side. So, and the wind is coming from this side, so it's actually good that I turned around and had my dinghy on the, basically tying up on the port and had my dinghy on the starboard. So we're going down. We're already down more than 6 feet. It's happening quickly. There's the operator booth. I haven't been through any locks where the operators are mean or rude or lazy or anything. They're all pretty much awesome. Yeah, I think if you have a problem with a lock operator, you're probably playing on your radio too much, is my guess. But could be wrong. Now, I used to basically watch, videos of people coming down the Mississippi and coming down the Tennessee, and they would use their radios to call and ask to pass barges and call to ask to pass boats. that is not an actual practice that takes place on this river. It's probably something more for the ICW and the ocean, but when it comes to this river, no one who lives here full time their whole life even has a radio, let alone uses it. And they certainly don't bother barge operators by calling them and talking to them on the radio. It's just not something that is actually practiced, even though I was taught to do it by watching YouTube videos of people going down this river. I just wanted to point that out to people. You know, every time I do a lock, I'm always nervous ahead of time, but there's really no reason to be. You're probably safer in here than you are even on the river. You're not going to hit anything. You're in a box, you know, so. First time I went through this lock, I did a time lapse of the whole thing in a lot more detail. So if you want to check that out, it's one damn day. Yeah. One damn day, I think it was the name of the title of the episode.
Well, I went to California and I had me a band, and we played in all the bars and all the southern lands. Played all night and we drank for free, all of my boys and me. Now I'm 23 and there ain't nobody who can drink like me. Soon I'll be 24 and Lord knows that I can't drink no more.
These boat grills, if you do a half twist, you take the whole bottle, you go halfway up, the whole thing pops right out. So then you don't have to sit there hanging off the back of the grill to put the gas bottle on. So you take this off of the grill to do the gas. That way you're also not messing with the threads, messing up that part of it. It's a lot easier to do it while you're handling it on the boat. So I threw a couple of pork ribs on. I got 8 of them. I put 2 of them on. River's gonna have a half of one of them. Then I'm gonna eat some chips. That's gonna be my lunch on the go. The grill, I have the same type of grill for this boat and the houseboat. The houseboat has a bigger grill, but it's the same exact kind. I gotta say, I recommend them. I haven't had to replace that one in the 5 years that I've owned the boat, and it was the first thing I bought when I got the boat, and I use it more than the inside oven or stove. Yeah, I really recommend them. Magnolias, I think is the name. Magnum. Yeah. But they're the only ones that look like that, hang off the back of the boat. And if you just get the right, hookup for your boat, so it actually fits right on there. I gotta tell you, it's really convenient to just have a grill hanging off the back of the boat. The other thing is, half of the time I'm using that one, I would take the boat out just to barbecue, so you're not at the sitting at the dock, and it has no problem with the wind. You can be 20-mile-an-hour wind and you can still grill. Yeah, they're great.
Peter Pan, that's what they call me. I promise that you'll never be lonely. And ever since that day, I am a lost boy from Neverland, usually hanging out with Peter Pan. And when we're bored, we play in the woods, always on the run from Captain Hook. Run, run, lost boy, they say to me, away from all of reality. Neverland is home to lost boys like me, and lost boys like me are free.
Now imagine if I can't, you see these houses, Imagine if I came with my houseboat and my dog and cat and just went in this little tiny creek, just like 500 feet, and then anchored on the anchored in there, and then spent like 6 months living in the same exact view, same property as these guys. And I don't pay no taxes just because I'm bobbing up and down in my little waterway. Oh, that's awesome. These are beautiful houses. You know, on the camera it kind of looks like they're close to each other, but if you were yelling on the side of one house, you wouldn't be able to hear them on the other. There's probably, I don't even want to guess, 600-700 feet between them. But they are big houses, and look at this one, has the whole point, has a yard. But then right there, I could go right in there and anchor and not be on shore in any way, and I could be right next to this house with my little houseboat for $15,000. It's just crazy. And then drive my dinghy and my dog right over to this little beach every morning. Have my coffee on the beach, just like they do. Perfect example of true wind versus apparent wind. See how that flag? The wind is going to the north by 5 miles an hour, blowing that flag everywhere. But on a boat, we're going north by 5 miles an hour. And River and I, you see how his bandana's not really moving? We don't feel any wind. That's an example of true wind versus apparent wind. So on the back side of this island right here is where I was stuck for 2 weeks with no starter, and I was waiting to have it rebuilt and sitting on the anchor. And then that, on the other side of that bridge is where the marina was, where I went and picked up Tanner, the mechanic that got the starter out finally and then brought it back to me. That was a really cool episode. River and I lived on that island for, 14 days. It was awesome. Yeah, that's just one of the spots where I stayed, the better part of a month. It's crazy that I'm going and I'm going down the same river in 3 days that it took me months and months to go down. When I was stopping every night after 3 hours of driving or 2 hours of driving and then staying for a week everywhere I stopped. That was my rule. If you put the hook down, you had to stay for 3 days at least. I showed a shot in the same situation where we were driving into 15-mile-an-hour winds, 1 foot waves coming from the north, current going south, so it was making these waves. I showed the same exact situation when I was in the houseboat, and the houseboat was going up and down and up and down and up and down, and this boat, look at, it's not even acknowledging that there's waves. It's not moving at all. Look at that. No up and down, nothing. It just cuts right through them. Like a knife through butter. So when you're looking for a spot to stay overnight with a sailboat, it's not as easy as just pulling up to the bank and tying off. I mean, the houseboat is almost a no-brainer. You look for a beautiful spot and you stick it there. It's super easy. This boat, essentially, in a perfect world, I'm going to show you what this boat is capable of when it's pointed into the wind and the waves and the wind and the current are all coming from the same direction. This boat sits solid as a rock, and that's what you're looking for. So I'm going to go up here around this bend, pretty much pull in behind this island and do a 180 and pull into the current and pull into the wind, and hopefully we'll be good. So this is Sandy Beach. He's already gone to the bathroom. He had to pee really quick. He's only been on the boat like 7 hours, but he's not used to holding it. This is where, hey River, don't go over there right now with me. Those where all the locals hang out. There's beaches all the way around the shore over there, and I passed maybe 20 boats on the shore over there, and no one's over here on the island, so I'm just gonna run River over here for a bit, and then we're gonna go back and make some. Everybody just cleared out of the beach. 3 boats just left. And look, there's a little marina right back there where 2 of them went. The other one went behind me. That's kind of cool. But that means River and I can go take over that beach. And I think he understands that because he just jumped into the dinghy. It's pretty windy though.
Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to get used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused.
So it's beautiful sand. And the water is crisp and cold. It's not too cold where you can't go in it. I mean, I don't know how long I would swim if I went in here. But in the middle of the day when it's 80 degrees, I would go in here, no problem. Leave the sailboat's way down there. Awesome. And the river's on his beach. I'm gonna go take him back to the boat. We're gonna cook dinner and then I'm gonna come back here with the frisbee.
For a while there it was rough, but lately I've been doing better than the last 4 cold Decembers I recall. And I see my family every month. I found a girl my parents love. She'll come and stay the night, and I think I might have it all.
I'm just sitting here looking. So this is an island in front of me. I probably will show you a map at some point during the video so you'll know what I'm talking about. So I'm looking at this island. And I'm sitting here and I'm just, contemplating how the last 2 days have gone. I went for this is 2 10-hour days that I've been driving. Or I planned on 10-hour days, but I got to where I was going in about 9 or 8.5, something like that. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, this is just the best thing in the world right now, being anchored in this beautiful boat, looking at that island, these trees and the water and the reflection. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, I could sit. I don't need anything right now. I could sit here. I could die right now, and I'd be a happy man just sitting here in this. The breeze is perfect. The dog sitting on the bow. He just ran on the beach for an hour. Cricket came up here and was jumping around, chasing her fuzzy ball, and then ran back in the boat. The anchoring out in this boat and just being in a beautiful spot is what I like more than anything. I don't necessarily like the driving or the moving of the boat at all. It was fun to watch things go by. I definitely saw, this is my 3rd or 4th time through this 300-mile stretch right here. And in the last 2 years. So in different boats, whether it was the dinghy, the sailboat, or the houseboat. And it's beautiful. I love the boat ride. I do. But, that's a 5. And sitting here anchored, looking at sandy beach. Just even a little bit ago, there were a bunch of kids playing and yelling in the background. Like, I don't normally get kid noise. That's really cool. That every once in a while I stay near campgrounds where you just hear kids, playing hide and seek and just doing kid stuff. And that noise is kind of cool. You don't get it very often. I don't get it very often. Some people are probably annoyed after too long or too much, but it sounds cool. Everyone's happy. And then the wind is it's 10 miles an hour. It's coming through the boat. I don't need any air conditioning. Even though it's 84 degrees, it feels really nice. There's just enough clouds to get the sun away from you for a little bit to give you a break. Yeah. I don't really need much more than this. Oh, and I'm going to cook some more ribs. I made 2 for lunch. I got 4 more to throw back on there. And River and Cricket ate some of them. They like them. So we're going to make some more. And then tomorrow I'm going to get up and do another 10 hours and get myself back to Cuba Landing. Yeah.
trying to do it right. I've been living a lonely life. I've been sleeping here instead. I've been sleeping in my bed. Sleeping in my bed. So show me family, all the blood that I will bleed. I don't know where I belong. I don't know where I went wrong. But I can write a song. I belong with you belong with me, my sweetheart. I belong with you belong with me, my sweetheart.
It's 5:30 in the morning and we're just running river to go potty. Then we're gonna go make some coffee and then we're gonna run back and go for a walk on the beach for probably a half an hour or so. And then we're gonna take off. There's Cricket watching us. She always watches us, but she never gets in the dinghy. That's the main reason why I like the houseboat better.